Good evening, everyone. Chip Cooper for FTC Guardian and my partner, Alan Cutts. This is the first Hangout in the month of April 2019. We're really making progress getting into springtime here where I live. I spent 2 days this past weekend in the ocean, and it was a little chilly. And I actually looked up the temp. It was 60 degrees last weekend. This weekend it's 64, and it seemed to make a huge difference. Maybe I'm just getting accustomed to it. But spring is here, and things are warming up, and it's really good. What about you? Are you still shoveling?
It's warming up here. Yeah, it's warming up here. We're starting to. The sun's been out all day today. It was nice yesterday. I'm looking forward to the end of the month, man. April 27th. I'm out of here.
What happened? Oh, that's when you go to
Myrtle Beach, 2 weeks.
Myrtle Beach, playing golf, having fun.
Play golf, hang on the beach, go look for a house, go look at properties.
Cool.
Try to find a place in the South to live.
That sounds like fun. I could do that. So,
yep.
All right. So that's what we've been up to a little bit anyway in the last week or two, and what Alan's going to be doing very shortly. So let's go ahead and share my screen and get started with this presentation. So tell me, Alan, if you can see that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you see the title there, affiliate link is not an ad. That's a little cryptic, and I'll explain here in just a minute, or at least I'll set up this presentation for you to get you acclimated as to what we're talking about. And you see the subtitle there, NAD, which is the National Advertising Division of the Better Business Bureau. NAD clears up affiliate marketing issue and the FTC approves. So let's advance the slides here. Let's see if we can do it. All right, there we go. All right, so there's the desktop, and here's the announcement you've seen many times. The presentation is for informational purposes only. It is not legal advice, and we're not affiliated with the Federal Trade Commission. So this presentation involves BuzzFeed. And as you see in the lower left-hand corner of the slide there in yellow, BuzzFeed is a publisher, an online publisher through their website, and it's specifically a review website. BuzzFeed publishes reviews of all sorts of products and services and makes recommendations about them. And so that's really the basic focus. But here's where the catch comes in. What happens if BuzzFeed, in addition to reviewing products and services of others, not their own, what if they decide they want to cross the line a little bit and actually put in an affiliate link into one of these reviews rather than just being a pure reviewer or writing purely editorial comment? What is the legal effect of that? And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about in the presentation. As you see here, number one, BuzzFeed publishes shopping recommendations for consumers on their website, and the recommendations are for others. And in doing so, as a publisher, BuzzFeed is actually competing in the marketplace for eyeballs, for viewers. They're trying to attract viewers to read their content. That's what they do. So again, what happens if BuzzFeed decides to slip an affiliate link in there? And here's a classic example. You see this category of reviews here, 25 cheap things to treat yourself to right now. Then you see an affiliate link disclosure here, which is disclosing that they have, as an endorser, a reviewer, they have a material relationship. BuzzFeed, of course, has a material relationship with the advertiser, with the owner of the products and services that they're reviewing. And you can see here in the disclosure, they disclose that they may collect a share of sales or other compensation from the links on this page. So that is their material relationship disclosure as an endorser. Okay, so based on that, though, what other ramifications might there be? What other legal requirements might there be in addition to providing that material relationship disclosure? Before we get to answering that question, this is an example of one of their recommendations for these earbuds. You can see there, and they're talking about how popular these earbuds are selling on Amazon, and they publish some reviews there. So that is an example. So let's get to the issue now, which I think we've already set up by my initial comments, whether the presence of an affiliate link will transform editorial content, which is the review, into advertising. That's really the legal issue. Does the affiliate link transform editorial content in terms of reviews into advertising? And you ask, why is it important? And you see at the bottom, if the affiliate link converts the editorial content to advertising, then as an advertiser, BuzzFeed needs to also be able to substantiate the claims that are made regarding these products and services that are reviewed, right? So NAD, which again is the National Advertising Division, a division of the Better Business Bureau, they review these things, these types of disputes, and they tend to follow precisely what they think the Federal Trade Commission would do in terms of analysis. So as you can see here, NAD made an original finding regarding this issue and found, as you see there in point number 1, yes, the affiliate link did convert editorial content into advertising. And their rationale to support this conclusion was that the affiliate link had a purpose, of course, which was to sell products. And that's what advertisers do. They sell products, or they attempt to do that in any event. So that was the initial finding of NAD. But then BuzzFeed argued in reply, no, the affiliate link does not convert editorial content to advertising, and their rationale was that the purpose of the affiliate link was to promote readership, not to sell products, or the purpose of the content. So that was the reply, and then NAD agreed and reversed its original finding. And I'm going to go through the details here because this is important. This is why NAD reversed its finding. Number 1, the content was created by writers. Well, first of all, let me just say that what we're talking about here in these 3 points was essentially that that BuzzFeed made the argument and won the argument that BuzzFeed had created what I refer to sometimes as a Chinese wall separating the people who do the editorial content from the people who do the marketing, right? And that was the key to the reversal of the decision by NAD. So number 1, the content was created by writers who didn't know whether the company would receive any affiliate revenue based on purchases of the recommended products. So the writers had no idea when they chose the content, the products to recommend and wrote their editorial comment in terms of reviews. Number 2, the retailers nor the brands mentioned in the guides had any input about what was said about the product. So there was complete independence here. And then number 3, the links were added to the shopping guide after the content was written. And the quote here is very important. The content was created independently of and prior to the addition of affiliate links in the article. And you see the conclusion at the arrow at the bottom of the slide. BuzzFeed's content was editorial. Therefore, BuzzFeed is not acting as an advertiser and not required to substantiate claims. So that is, that is the finding, and it came in the form of a reversal by NAD of its original opinion going the other way. Very significant. And what is also significant are these 2 points. These are the keys to winning this argument if you're a review site or you do publish reviews on your website. Number 1 would be separation. You would need to establish procedures that would establish a clear separation, or the Chinese wall that I mentioned, between the people who make the editorial decisions about content and the marketers who make the decisions about revenue. That's number 1, the separation being the Chinese wall. And then number 2, there needs to be editorial independence, meaning that companies whose products are being reviewed have no business influencing the writers creating the content for the reviews. So there's complete editorial content or independence. And so these are the 2 keys, and these are the keys that would be determinative in this particular case. And also very significant, you can see here, let me zero in on it. Very recently, March of this year, last month, actually, Mary Engel of the Federal Trade Commission, she's the Associate Director of Advertising Practices for the FTC, made a speech at the NAD West Coast Conference. They have these every year. And she said that the FTC would follow the same analysis as NAD in determining whether the presence of an affiliate link will transform editorial content into advertising. So it's very interesting that we had NAD reversing itself, and then the FTC, in the form of Mary Engel, actually stating publicly very soon after the NAD's reversal of its decision that the FTC would follow the same analysis. So there you have it. The takeaways here are, with respect to reviews with affiliate links, simply claiming editorial content is not enough. To escape regulation as an advertiser, meaning substantiation, you see in red the two bottom line keys we just talked about. You need to establish procedures to establish clear separation between editorial decisions and revenue. That's the Chinese wall requirement. And then number 3 there, the second of the two keys, companies whose products are being reviewed cannot influence the content. You need to clearly disclose the affiliate relationship, which is the material connection we're talking about. And we didn't really mention this, but we've talked about this last point in at least one or possibly 2 Hangouts previously, and that would be critical reviews about a competing product risk a false advertising claim under the Lanham Act. That's just sort of thrown in for additional information. It's really not a part of this issue, but it's something we've talked about in the past. And then we see the tags that I will actually put up tomorrow morning early with when I load the replay video: affiliate, review, endorser, endorsement, material relationship, ad claim, and substantiation. So that concludes the presentation, and let me see if I can find out how to clear out. Yeah, how I can clear out the share my screen, and there you can see Alan and me. And Alan may have some comments, or he also may have some questions.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make a few comments, guys. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in there, because I know there's a little bit of delay in Webinar Jam. So really, what this presentation is about, because most likely none of our members are as large as a BuzzFeed. Just being honest with you. Most of them aren't that large.
They are.
But if you do, yeah, exactly. But for example, I have a website on scuba diving. It's called Scuba Diving News, and we publish news and recommendations and stuff like that because I'm a scuba diver, and I have to, because I mean, obviously, there's no separation between me and another person.
You can say, I wear my editorial hat and then I take it off.
And I jump over and I take offices. Yeah. I put up the little wall and I run around the block and I go over and I do this. Yeah. So what I want to make sure of is you guys understand that most likely you don't fall under this. If you're doing review sites and you're doing that kind of stuff, that you're not going to fall under it, because the NAD and FTC made a very, it's called the Chinese wall. It's very specific in that the content and the advertising were separate, and that's why. Where most small business solopreneurs are not separate. I mean, you may say, well, I have one Philippine writer who writes the content, and I have another Philippine writer who does the ads. I don't think they're going to buy it. I'm just saying. I don't think they're going to buy, that logic.
Maybe so not.
You can make the case for it.
At least you can, and you've got something to argue there. Right?
Yeah. Yep. You got a place to start if you want to spend the money to start. I mean, BuzzFeed makes the money so they can spend the money to argue a case like that. So, I mean, that's what you want to think about is, do you just want to do the ad claims and just go that direction,
So
we got a couple of questions popping in.
Let me make this quick comment before you hit me up with the questions. In choosing this topic, I actually thought about, and I try to think about, I review a lot of new developments. I get alerts probably 4 times, maybe 5 a week. and I read through them and I say, no, that doesn't apply to FTC Guardian. That one, oh, but this one might. And so that's how I select topics. Sometimes that they're selected, they're recommended by members, but most often than not, you know, I pick and choose what I think would be applicable. And when I got to this one a couple of months ago, I was thinking, I basically what Alan just said, there's nobody here that is a review site that has all these employees, where in this room over here or down the hall are the editorial guys, and over here are the marketing guys, and there's this Chinese wall. I said, there's probably not, but maybe this is good because it causes us to think about these distinctions. Yep. So I really sort of was torn about whether it would apply, but I thought it would sort of be sort of like a teaching moment, they say, that doesn't actually directly apply to most, if not all, of our members, but it does provide something to think about.
Well, I think it makes people think. We got a question here from Phil, and it seems this would not apply to most of us using affiliate links, as we are usually writing content and posting affiliate links. Well, you're right. The way BuzzLink went about getting out of it does not apply. What does apply is if you're an affiliate and you're marketing a product, then you need to be concerned about the ad claims that the product is facing. I'll give you an example. We were asked the other day to promote someone's product. We get asked all the time, right? I mean, we've got a large list. We get asked all the time. And I told the person who we've done stuff with before, sounds great, but do you make any ad claims? For example, make X in X months in the webinar, in the promotion. Haven't heard back from them yet.
Let me jump in. Let me say this. I met Alan in 2012, 2013. We decided to do business together in 2014 on the Marketers Cruise that year in January. And I can tell you, I knew the old Alan, right? Back in the day, I knew him, right, when I first met him, long before we decided to do business. And I can say, based on that comment alone, I can tell, and I know in my heart, he's found religion. He has found advertising religion by asking that question.
Yeah. And that's all I ask is, does it make an ad claim that you make X in Y months or years? Because if you use that statement anywhere within the webinar, I can't promote it. I mean, there's a lot of other ways to do it, but if you use that, I can't promote it.
Is speak that way. That's
yeah. So I try to convert it and say, look, there are other ways to do that same webinar without saying that.
There you go. And by the way, and you know, one of the alternatives that we've had several Hangouts on is puffery. Yep. And I just picked out a topic today where there are 4 cases, very recent, that talk about different puffery statements. So we're going to have a puffery update in about 2 months, because it's so important, because it's really the risk-free alternative that Alan just mentioned to making this very specific claim about making X dollars in the certain period of time. Yeah. So we're gonna keep hitting you up here with these alternatives and give you these examples of what works as puffery, because it's really important. Yep.
All right, Phil, I hope we answered your question. So Susan, as a solo entrepreneur, solopreneur, if we write reviews where I just talk about my experience with the product, that seems to be okay if I'm not making any ad claims. Oh yeah, if you're not making ad claims and you're not collecting, if you are not making ad claims and you don't have an affiliate link, then yes. What you need to be concerned about is if you're making it and you put an affiliate link, you don't have to make the ad claim. The other company could be making the ad claims. You're promoting the product. So if they're making the ad claim, you're just like me with the webinar scenario. I can promote it and never make a single ad claim. I could send out emails all day long and get people to register for a webinar and never make a single ad claim. The moment they land on the webinar and somebody's making an ad claim, then all of a sudden I'm responsible.
Right. Okay.
So you don't want to put yourself in that situation, Susan. So you need to be careful about the affiliates you promote so that you don't get hit. And this is very similar to how Frank Kern got nailed. He wasn't necessarily making quote unquote the ad claims. It was downstream that was doing it because they had his name on stuff and it rolled back upstream to him. It wasn't him that was doing it. Judy.
So let me just summarize in a very few words. If you're an affiliate and you're promoting a product of someone else, and in that promotion that you do, you're using that retailer's ad claims and you're pushing them out, then you're responsible for substantiation. Exactly what Alan just said. You know, if we as FTC Guardian are going to promote somebody as an affiliate, and those ad claims start coming out, we're going to be held responsible. And he just said up front, we just can't be responsible for a certain type of ad claim.
Yep.
And if you're going to make those, then we can't promote you with a webinar. And, and he hasn't heard from the person yet.
Yeah.
But you know, if the ad claims got changed and they were puffery and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah. You change the webinar. You change the webinar where you're not making a specific ad claim during the webinar. And if you learn how to do it, you can do the same thing. You just need to learn how to do it better, right?
Exactly.
That's
All
it.
right.
Okay. Judy, I have a page of product recommendations. Sometimes I say why I like something. Copy some of the info from the product on Amazon. Is that a problem? I would be a little leery of quote unquote copying the stuff from Amazon. I don't know where that might get you in the way of just copyright infringement. I mean, I don't know. But if you're copying, when you say copy, you're copy, right? You're taking from one and putting on another.
I'm actually getting more conservative than I am in certain respects.
Hey, I'm going to become an attorney, damn it.
I mean, my take on it, if you're copying a review in Amazon, while it is technically copyright infringement, I mean, you're copying copyrighted content without permission of the author or owner. That's the definition of copyright infringement. And technically, it's probably infringement. But generally speaking, no one's going to be complaining about it because you're promoting, you know, and if they do, you just take it down. I think the risk is so low there that even though it's technically, he's right. He's right, technically. The risk is so low, I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, but I follow the other suit is most of the time you can just rewrite it quickly. I mean, and you copy, you rewrite, you use your own words, especially if it's to your own list, because I do that a lot. I'll take someone else's copy to try to get the essence of what they're saying, and then I just rewrite it in my own words. Take the essence of what they did in my own words because my list knows my own words, so I do that. So,
and let me put out a very quick teaching moment based on what Professor Cutts just said. This is good. I like it. If we haven't talked about IP or intellectual property in a long while, and maybe at some point we need to sort of acquaint some of our newer members with it, but copyright protection, very important. There's this really fancy term called the idea expression dichotomy. Really fancy. What it really means is copyright protects the way an idea is expressed, meaning generally speaking, the text. It also can include structure of a novel, you know, the plot and all of that. But generally speaking, text. But it doesn't protect the idea, right? And so what Alan is saying is that he read this material, extracted the idea, which is not protected by copyright, and then wrote it in his own words. And you are not only authorized to do it, it's recommended that you do it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So reading it, extracting the idea, and then expressing that idea in your own words is precisely legal, and it's even encouraged legally. So, you know, do that. Be mindful.
Jolynn, I have a question about my magazine. I'm in the process of publishing. I'll have ads in it, some CPA, call per action ads, and ads with my own coaching services. What would be the best overall statement to include in an issue of the magazine, basically saying she's not responsible for the ads? that I'm not necessarily going to include in the article, blah, blah, blah.
Wait a minute. Aren't they her ads?
Well, some of them are, she's doing some CPA stuff where CPA is she's getting paid for people who go to a link. She might get $10 if somebody fills out a form or something like that. CPA ads. So she's looking for, you should definitely put some sort of, I would say on every single ad, if you have something in your publication that whether it's an article or whether it's just an ad, you need to make sure people know that is an ad, right?
Right, exactly. And let me add something to it, if I may. As an affiliate, let's say that you're an affiliate, and you might be as to certain aspects of what you just talked about, right? So let's say that on an affiliate website in your publication, you have a sales page promoting the product of someone else for which you're an affiliate and are getting a commission if a sale is made, right? So if there's a sales page and it's on your website and you're acting as an affiliate, it's very, very clear to everyone that that sales page is an ad, right? You don't have to say this is an ad or put hashtag ad or anything like that. It's a sales page, for goodness sakes, and everybody knows it. But if you, on the other hand, make a little promotional post on Instagram or something saying how much you like this product, it's not clear that that's an ad. It's not clear that you're going to benefit if someone clicks on this link. So that's where you need the hashtag ad or the little yellow button with the word ad in it, where the consumer would not be sure that it's an ad or not. That's when you need to make the disclosure. But when it's so clear that it's an advertisement, you don't need to say.
And I'm sure you guys have seen it. I've written, like I say, a gazillion, but that's overstatement. I've written a lot of these for companies before. Have you ever been flipping through a Sky Mall magazine or any publication and you read an article and you go, oh, wow. It's usually about, breast enhancements, which I've written, things like that. And all of a sudden you read it and you go, read at the top, it says advertisement. It's not really an article. The reason that it says advertisement at the top is because it's telling you in advance that this is not an article. This entire thing.
It looks like an article.
It looks like an article, but it is an advertisement in basic, I can't say fine print because it's not really fine print, but at the top, usually 2 lines across it, and it says advertisement. That's the reason that those had to start. That's the reason they had to start saying this is advertisement, because so many people were doing this. It was like, oh, this is another article, and blah blah blah. And it's like, no, it's an advertisement. It's written to be an article that looks like an advertisement. So
yeah, use common sense.
Yep.
If at first blush, if it looks like an article, you're going to need to disclose that it's really an ad.
Yeah.
The way he just described in the magazine, or if it's an Instagram post, hashtag ad is really in your comment is also acceptable, that sort of thing. But if it's so clearly an advertisement, such as a sales page, you don't need to do that.
Yeah. And Jolene, if you're in your publication that you're creating, if you're doing articles and then putting in a CPA link, you need to make sure you have at the top that's an advertisement, because the article is directly trying to get the person to click on the CPA link. That's an article that has a specific purpose to create revenue. So you need to make sure that you tell people that article that you're writing or whatever it is an ad in some way, or some way.
And before you go on, one thing I'd recommend is, if you want some more information about this topic that Alan and I have just been discussing, do a search on replay videos in the members area for native ads or native ad. We've had, I think 2 webinars, not in the last year or so, talking about the subject of native ads. And there's a lot of information there on exactly what Alan's talking about.
Yeah, and I run a lot of native ads. I run native ads for FTC Guardian as well as for my own businesses and for clients. Native ads are great. You just got to do them correctly. Phil, you had a question here. Not really a question, but it's almost a comment. It says, so if the product BuzzFeed gave a link to, it was unsubstantiated ad claim, BuzzFeed would be responsible, would be in trouble. The answer is no, because that's where that Chip talked about the Chinese wall. There's two separate entities, basically. One is writing content. The other entity is putting the affiliate link and saying, oh, we were able to cut a deal with these people and get an affiliate link to it. So they were able to substantiate that they're two separate organizations or entities that were doing it.
Without the Chinese wall, the answer would be the other way.
Yep.
The affiliate would be responsible for ad claims and would be forced to make the decision that Alan made, that what you just described about the situation that he had when recently someone asked him, will you promote us? Well, he said, well, I know what your product is. Do you have an ad claim that says this and this? And if you do, we can't. Right. So, you know, he made that decision. It's terrific. I love it. and so if you're responsible for the substantiation, you know, the antenna needs to go up and you need to just discuss it. Do you have a substantiation with this? Yes, yes. In this particular case, Alan knew this individual, right? He knew him very well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So he knew all about it. But if you don't know, just ask and then make a decision. Make a reasonable decision.
Yeah, and Jolene, you're looking for a specific statement or something. I think your best, FTC Guardian as a training company. We are not a law firm. FTC Guardian. Chip has a law firm. I have a marketing company. If you're looking for a very specific statement to put in your publication, I would, follow up with Chip offline and get into a whatever attorneys do. And you can follow up with Chip. What is it? FTC Guardian
relationship.
Yeah, but it's FTC Guardian /Chip, right?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you need to speak with Chip specifically about what you're doing, just go to FTC Guardian /Chip and do that. FTC Guardian as a company, we can't get into giving you a specific statement for your specific thing because we're not a law firm. Guys, I did miss some of the beginning of the webinar. I do have a question. Hopefully it's not redundant. I'm just really starting on my journey of affiliate marketing. Well, that's really good. For what I've been several times, it did a lot of affiliates that personally have bought programs and then purchased the right to when we get the reseller stuff, you're dangerous. And do it all as they provide all the sales material.
Do we have a question in there?
I'm trying to read through it. I'm to read. It's like several paragraphs long. I'm trying to read through it.
There
okay. So Christina, back in prior to 2008, what you're talking about probably would have been okay.
What is the question? So
it's just a lot of, I'm going to look into doing affiliate marketing. Some of the stuff has resale rights, and I'm using some of the copy that they use for the resale right products to put on my website to market some of the products that have resale rights, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You just want to be very, very careful. I mean, you can do it. There is no doubt you can do it. What you want to be concerned with is when you're reading the copy, any of the resale right copy that you're given, that's given to you to say, here, put this on your website and then here's put the book on the back end, the informational product on the back end, and you're going to charge them for this, and put this on your website. If it makes ad claims, if it starts talking, if they have people with planes in the background, if they have people with a nice, beautiful car in the background, those are ad claims. Whether it sounds like it or not, it's an ad claim. If they say make X and Y, if they lose weight and Y, whatever those things are, those are ad claims.
Measurable results.
Exactly. Then you need to be careful about it. And it could be a gazillion different things. It just say X and Y, right? So if it doesn't matter if it's weight or money or sell so many cars in so many months. I mean, yeah, I could just go down the line. I can teach you how to sell so much insurance in X number of months. Whatever that is, I mean, if it has that, be very careful because the people who are giving you resale rights to stuff are going to make it sound really, really good. And they're going to leave you out there to dry if you're using their stuff. And, you know, they may not get nailed, but then, you know, all of a sudden you may, you know, I mean, so you've got to be careful. And again, that's exactly, you said you came on a bit late. That's exactly how Frank Kern got nailed with Resell Right products. And he was the guy upstream where people downstream were making claims and doing stuff. And he got nailed later on. So
because his name was on it.
Yeah, because his name was on it.
In very simple terms, if the ad is making a very specific promise with a very measurable result, you know, lose so many pounds in a certain time, make money, so many new signups in a certain time, you can measure it. I mean, and so if that occurs and you're being pushed that kind of material with those promises or claims, you know, the term of art legally in advertising is called an ad claim, but it's generally a promise, a very specific one, right? So if you're given that material, then the first thing that you should think about is, wow, I wonder if they can substantiate this. I mean, do most people really achieve this result? Or is it BS, right?
Well, I'll give you an example. To some of you, this may not sound like an ad claim, but this is exactly what came up in the question, the one that I proposed, because I listened to the webinar and I proposed it, or, you know, mentioned it to them. We had somebody last year make 7 figures. That's an ad claim. We had somebody in 2018 make 7 figures, a dollar amount in a year. But it doesn't sound like it when you say it like that. We had somebody last year make 7 figures. So it's an ad claim.
When the consumer hears it, they're going to say, well, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
So all of a sudden now you have to substantiate it. You have to say, where's the somebody and where's the dates that they made it in, right?
Right. And depending on how the context of it, it might be that you have to not only substantiate that this person actually achieved this result, but that most people who buy the product can achieve the same result.
No,
right?
Yeah, that they either they do or they don't.
But if you do a search in the search box in the members area, you're going to see a lot of videos, replay videos, if you search on ad claim and substantiation, because we have covered that up one side and down the other, and also puffery, you know, because that's an alternative. If you look at 4 or 5 of those videos when you have time, you'll get a lot of background information about what we're just talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of very specific, very valuable information. And really, as you move ahead in your career as an online marketer, business owner, one of the most fundamental things you need to understand, I mean, before you understand anything that's a little esoteric, like this presentation that we had tonight, is what is an ad claim? Come on, what is it? And then why is it significant? The FTC says, you know, when a consumer sees or reads or hears the ad claim, the reasonable consumer is going to believe, well, okay, then I can do the same thing. So you need to be able to substantiate that that's going to happen. That's the idea. So you need to understand what an ad claim is and what puffery is and why they're different, why puffery is not regulated and ad claims are in terms of substantiation. Get a feel for it. It's just a feel. And then that is the most fundamental thing of marketing. Once you get that understanding, then a lot of these finer points will all fall into place, and you'll really understand a lot of this stuff. And
absolutely. I work with all my clients to utilize puffery and the weasel words Chip talks about sometimes, but using puffery, I mean, if you learn how to use puffery, I mean, all good financial writers know how to use puffery.
Puffery is dynamite. But one of the things is that I have learned from attending some events and listening to marketers talk and, you know, from the stage and all, is they'll say a lot of times, you know, you've got to really be specific about the claim you make. And you got to promise a very specific result in a specific period of time. And that's what's going to motivate people to buy, or whatever the call to action is, right? Well, not necessarily. I mean, because an ad claim that's very specific is very factual. It's a very specific promise. But generally speaking, it doesn't tap into somebody's emotions, right? And there's another key word you need to look up if you're really interested. That would be Nutrisystem, the weight loss company. We've got what I think is one of the best hangouts we've ever done on the Nutrisystem model and how they handle their testimonials, which, you know, weight loss people have thousands of testimonials, and Nutrisystem does. But it's at the very top, it says Jane Doe lost 73 pounds, but it doesn't say within 6 months or 2 weeks or a year. So all of a sudden that ad claim at the top is not, your burden to substantiate is not that significant because it chops off the time period, right? You just have to, it might have taken her 3 years to do it. Right. Right. So they've reduced their exposure there. And then on the left side, the right side is her picture looking very nice in a dress and very trim. On the left side, where I think the most effective part of the ad or the testimonial is, she's talking about how she felt about losing the weight and how she had confidence for the first time in several years since she had this child and gained this weight. And now she's confident in the workplace again. She can wear the size dress, whatever it was. And it felt so good. And she's so proud of herself. And that's emotional, right? That helps drive sales. So, you know, a lot of people think that puffery is just, it's just an opinion in her description, but it's emotional. A lot of people, you know, they buy on emotion and then justify on facts. And so if you really understand how to do opinions and puffery, you can make very compelling reasons to buy without having to promise that they're going to lose 100 pounds in a certain period of time.
Yeah. And really, I want to comment on something. Christina, you're talking about you don't really deal in weight loss. Well, I've seen some ads lately from a couple of people that I would respect in the industry, but they're treading the line, and they're talking about, you know, how to generate 10,000 leads in a month.
Yeah. I mean,
you know, by the time when you do X and Y, then it's an ad claim, right? So you've got to be careful about that. You know, let me show you how to generate 10,000 leads. Shut up. I tell people, let's talk about generate X and shut up, you know?
Yeah. Or let me show you how you can enhance your business by automating how you generate leads.
Yeah.
It really, I mean.
Yeah. So anyway, she had a question about, yes, Christina, if you're logged into your membership site and on the right side, you'll see a search box, and what you type in the tag there. Like if you wanted to type in native ads, you'll see all the hangouts that we've done on native advertising and any other documents that we have that might show up. That
form will all pop up, and if you do ad claim, there'll probably be a dozen or more.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's where you can go back and get some of the read or review the ads that the replay videos for Hangouts for a year or two ago.
Yeah, all of these are in here. I mean, all the videos that we've done since 2014 are there. You can just do the search. You can do a quick search under the tags and pull up anything by what Chip talks about under different tags.
At the end of this presentation, you remember the little pink sticky form? I listed the tags. Those are the tags I'm going to put up for this particular session here. So if you do search on any of those, you'll see more information.
Okay. All right.
All right.
We're good.
We're done. We're good.
We're good.
Well, it's very interesting that, you know, in closing, this specific topic didn't really resonate with very many, if any, of our members, but the discussion we had based on it did, right? And so that's good. That's good. And I'm glad it all turned out that way. So thanks for participating. Everyone have a very pleasant evening, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
We got a question here. It says, somebody said, Phil says, would an ebook you give away, and I'm going to say yes, would an ebook you give away that says how to get X and Y be an ad claim? I mean, that's, if you're putting it in the ad, it is. It's like how to lose weight, you know, how to lose 10 pounds in 5 days, or how to get 10,000 leads in 1 month. I mean, anytime you connect the two ends, it's an ad claim. So figure out how to do it without doing both sides of that.
Okay. All right. We almost stopped this presentation a minute ago, but it jogged my memory. There's one thing I want to mention, and that somebody was talking about weight loss. Somebody here, right? One thing you need to Google. We haven't done this one yet, and one of these days we're going to do a hangout on this particular topic of weight loss, but specifically a set of claims related to weight loss, which the FTC calls the gut check claims. And I believe there's seven of them. And the FTC has published it. If you do a Google on FTC gut check claims, you'll see, I believe it's a PDF, right? And basically FTC is saying, if you're in the weight loss space, there's 7 claims that it's impossible to substantiate. Like lose weight without any diet or exercise. Can't be done. You know, usually they're selling, take this pill, you'll lose weight without diet or exercise. The FTC says scientifically, we know that it can't happen. It's illegal. You cannot substantiate it. So if you're in the weight loss space, Google gut check FTC, and you'll see 7 claims you should never make, because the FTC knows that, you know, and when they see those, they'll come after you. So avoid those like the plague. All right.
Okay, we're good.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, we're all good. Thanks everyone for attending. We'll see you in about 2 weeks. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.